I don't know about you, but I was shocked when I realized my flight, instead of going from east to west horizontally, took a curved path. Why did it do that? Then after seeing the world map, I saw that my flight took a curved path in order to avoid the world's biggest ocean, and I thought it might be because of some safety issues, because if something happens to the plane in the middle of the flight, it would be very difficult to find a safe place to land in an emergency. I mean, yeah, we can't do an emergency landing on lion's mane jellyfish, but after doing more research, I came to know that there are several logical reasons why airplanes avoid flying over the Pacific Ocean. Stay with me until the end of the video to find these reasons, and if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, then please do. Curved routes are shorter than straight routes. Common sense does not agree with this statement, but I know right now you are imagining the world in the 2D structure instead of considering that our Earth is 3D, and it's not flat. As a result, straight lines do not provide the shortest distance between 2 points. A curved route will provide the fastest, shortest, and most fuel-efficient flight for a commercial airline flying from the United States to Asia or elsewhere. We all need to keep this in mind that airline companies are businesses, and the main goal of every business is to generate profit. Passengers, on the other hand, also want to reach their desired location safely as soon as possible, so going on for the shortest route is a win-win for both. So, in regard to both the given priorities, it is better to avoid flying over the Pacific Ocean. Conduct an experiment. You can easily demonstrate and verify this by a simple experiment. Run down the road and get a small 3D globe. Using a spherical globe, locate 2 points, such as the center of the United States and the center of Asia. To simulate a straight route, connect a piece of string or cordage directly between these 2 areas. When you're finished, use a marker to mark the string or cordage at this distance. It's now time to calculate a curved path connecting the same 2 points. Connect the 2 locations by taking a curved path with the same piece of string or cordage. If you follow these steps correctly, you should find that the curved route is physically shorter than the straight route. Curved routes are safer. Yes, curved routes are safer than straight routes, which is why commercial airliners usually take a northern curved route over Canada and Alaska. As a result, they spend less time over the Pacific Ocean, which allows for emergency landings if necessary. Rescuers would have little chance of finding and rescuing members of a plane that crashed in the Pacific Ocean, assuming anyone on board survived the crash landing in the first place. For this reason, most airliners prefer to fly over land, as it's safer to crash land on solid ground, preferably near an airport with emergency services. According to the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, planes fly for approximately 25,202,000 hours per year, FAA. Commercial airlines, however, do not fly in a straight line directly over the Pacific Ocean on routes connecting the United States to Asia. Curved routes are preferred because they are shorter and thus provide cost saving in the form of lower fuel consumption and faster flights. Weather patterns. Another reason for avoiding the Pacific Ocean is the weather patterns. As you know, storms and extreme weather conditions are most likely to occur at sea than on land. The weather over the Pacific Ocean is frequently turbulent, and there are numerous thunderstorms in part of the Pacific, making flying a plane unsafe. Most flights from the Americas to East Asia prefer overland routes from Canada and Alaska because the weather is calmer there, and the weather forecast makes it easier to schedule flights and take precautionary measures. The Pacific Ocean is simply not conducive to air travel. Jet streams. Jet streams, which are a set of air currents that circle the Earth several miles above the planet's surface, are another reason planes don't prefer to fly over the Pacific Ocean. Because of the rotation of the Earth, these air currents primarily flow west to east. Flying in the same direction as a jet stream saves time and fuel, but flying against one causes dangerous turbulence and potential aircraft damage. The polar jet stream path crosses Canada and Alaska, taking the same route as most of the flights in that region. So these were the major reasons why airplanes do not fly over the Pacific Ocean, but there are 2 exceptions to this. Let's discuss them and look at them in detail. Transpacific flight. A Transpacific flight is one that crosses the Pacific Ocean from Asia or Australia to the Americas or vice versa. These flights are available commercially since the 1930s, but are not as common as transatlantic flights. Because of its large passenger capacity and fuel efficiency, which allows it to fly continuously over the Pacific Ocean, the Boeing 747 is one of the most important planes used in Transpacific flights. Due to recent advancements in aviation technology, even twin-engine planes can occasionally be used for commercial Transpacific flights. Mostly aircrafts like the Airbus A320, Boeing 737, and Boeing 787 are used for these flights, and mostly these planes fly over the destinations of Hawaii, New Zealand, and Australia. Of course, when flying from or to Pacific Ocean countries and regions such as New Zealand, Fiji, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Vanuatu, and others, the Pacific Ocean cannot be avoided. How much time does it take to fly over the Pacific Ocean? Just for additional information, let's see how much time it takes to fly over the Pacific Ocean. The duration of a flight over the Pacific Ocean is largely determined by the aircraft, its origin destination, weather conditions, and fuel efficiency. If we assume that a Boeing 747 plane flies from Los Angeles to Tokyo, the flight will take at least 11 to 12 hours on average. This time is increased if weather conditions are not good. Also, small planes would take longer to cross the Pacific Ocean because they would have to refuel in Pacific Ocean locations such as Hawaii. What about other oceans? So, is it just the Pacific Ocean, or do airplanes avoid other oceans as well? Well, no, as the other oceans are less remote and there is greater demand for travel over these oceans than the Pacific Ocean. There are two flights that are common for flying over other oceans. Transatlantic flights. Transatlantic flights connect Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia to the Americas, or vice versa. Over 2,000 transatlantic flights take place every day, making transatlantic flights common. On average, 41 of these 2,000 flights per day will be from Heathrow Airport in London to New York City's John F. Kennedy International Airport. Trans-Indian Ocean flights. Many of the world's most well-known airlines offer economy flights to popular Indian Ocean destinations. The majority of Indian Ocean flights go to India, Australia, the Maldives, and Malaysia. Emirates Airlines, Air India, and British Airways are among the most popular airlines for trans-Indian Ocean flights. While not unheard of, planes rarely fly over the Pacific Ocean because it is more dangerous and expensive, and there are better, shorter routes available for flying between the Americas and East Asia. So that was all for this video. I hope now you will all be clear about the reason why airplanes don't prefer flying over the Pacific Ocean. So share your thoughts about the video in the comments section, and if you have any questions or confusion, feel free to ask. See you again with another video on another topic soon. Till then, bye-bye.